Thanks, Jules. After the first debate was called a disaster and the second one was canceled, the third debate was complete with a mute switch to cut off any interruptions. Jenna Perry has the play-by-play.
President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden laid out two very different visions of America in what was considered the most normal presidential debate of the entire campaign. The night began with the country's most pressing issue, COVID-19. While Trump claimed the country is rounding the corner of the pandemic, Biden warned Americans of a dark winter ahead.
We can't lock ourselves up in a basement like Joe does.
He says that we're learning to live with it. People are learning to die with it.
Trump dismissed the seriousness of the spikes across the country when Biden came at him with COVID stats, as if the candidates were describing two different countries.
If you go and look at what's happened to New York, it's a ghost town. It's a ghost town.
Take a look at what New York has done in terms of turning the curve down in terms of the number of people dying. And I don't look at this in terms of the way he does. Blue states and red states. They're all the United States.
The high-stakes debate was filled with fury and falsehoods, ranging from the pandemic to national security. Trump attempting to put Biden on the defensive several times about his alleged involvement with foreign nationals, but Biden stood his ground.
Your family got $3.5 million, and someday you're going to have to explain.
I have not taken a penny from any foreign source ever in my life.
Chapman's professor of campaigns and elections, Fred Smoller, noted how Trump's performance was much more composed than previous debates.
He had to dial it way back, and so he did. Trump is going to lose the election if the dynamic that's been established persists through November 3rd.
Trump attempted to change the debate trajectory by citing his accomplishments for Black communities, saying he has done more for Black Americans than any president since Lincoln.
I'm the least racist person in this room.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history.
Moderator Kristen Welker was able to direct the conversation back to policy, specifically immigration. Biden defended children who have been separated from parents at the border after Trump claimed most of the children traveled to the U.S. with cartels.
They separated them at the border to make it a disincentive to come to begin with. And it makes us a laughingstock and violates every notion of who we are as a nation.
In their last chance to pitch themselves to millions of Americans, both candidates attempted to lift public spirits.
Success is going to bring us together. We are on the road to success.
We're going to choose hope over fear. We're going to choose to move forward because we have enormous opportunities.
CNN instant polls show 53% of voters believe Biden won and 39% for Trump.
They've essentially said, let's stay quiet and let Trump do himself in. And Trump's been Joe Biden's best campaign manager.
With Chapman News, I'm Jenna Perry.
With just 11 more days until the general election, California is breaking voting records. Over 4.5 million Californians have already voted. That's 3 times as much as 2016.
Of the early voters, Democrats make up 51%, Republicans make up 39%, and 70% of them are at least 50 years old. Registered voters in Orange County can submit their ballots by mail until November 3rd.
There have been warnings all year about vote tampering. Now national security officials are warning the public that Iran and Russia have both acquired American voter registration data.
While Iran has used the information to send pro-Trump emails to voters, there are currently no ties to election fraud.
Amy Coney Barrett's nomination is now moving to the Senate floor after the Senate Judiciary Committee voted to approve her 12-0 down the party lines.
Senate Democrats boycotting the vote to slow down its process, but Republicans proceeded without them. During the committee meeting, Democrats placed photographs in their empty seats of people who rely on the Affordable Care Act. The nomination of Amy Coney Barrett is the most illegitimate process I have ever witnessed in the Senate, and her potential confirmation will have dire consequences for the Senate, for the Supreme Court, and our entire country for generations to come. After forgetting that the right to protest is protected by the First Amendment, Barrett is now coming under fire for having served on private Christian school boards with anti-LGBTQ policies.
Regardless of her criticisms, most Senate Republicans are doing everything they can to swing the Supreme Court to a 6-3 GOP majority.
A final full Senate vote on Barrett's nomination will take place on Monday.
We will keep you updated on all things politics. We'll see you next week. I'm Jasmine Sani. Back to you, Jules.